What's up, YouTube? It's your boy, Schmmo. I'm here. I am with Kool-Aid,
Yo, what up?
and I'm with Timmy the Cat.
Hello.
Me and Timmy will be doing some Nuzlocke stuff. Hopefully, now that I've fixed everything, we can go on without a hitch, and editing should not be a problem. We
It should
will,
not be.
yeah, so we should be fine on that. But today, we're here to get down to the nit and gritty. We're here to deal with the worst of the worst, the trashiest of the trash, bad anime. Now we're going to talk about what makes a bad anime personally and get into that and give off some examples. If you really want to hurt yourself, that's all you. Masochism is a thing and we do not judge here. So, who wants to
Matter of fact,
start?
that's probably what makes it a good anime.
Yeah, true. Billy, so what makes a bad anime for you?
Well, that's a loaded question, bro. You could literally go several different ways as far as there's always going to be like particular anime with bad aspects. I've yet to find the perfect anime of like minus Gurren Lagann, right? No, kidding.
Yeah, perfect.
No, right? He's like 100%. We're not disputing this. No. Over the years, and I mean literal years, because just I know I've been watching anime well over. Goodness gracious, like I would say ever since I was a kid and whatnot, because of like Toonami and whatnot. But every so often you find ones that they at first they pull you in. They're like, okay, cool, this is like first good couple episodes, and then something happens that just completely ruins it. I have a lot of examples, everything from the plot, the characters, even animation, and so what I like to label under great concept but like poor execution type series. So I honestly could go on like all out with a bunch of this stuff. So what would you want me to kind of like tackle first, or what would you which aspect would you want to go? Would any of y'all want to go with first?
Let's go with story.
With story? Oh man. Um.
I was like, you want to talk about loaded questions, too?
Yeah, the truth.
We gotta keep the time going.
My first one for that, I say first one, but no, one of the top ones I would say for that is just getting right into this. As far as storyline was concerned, this is an anime called Wizard Barristers. Like first episode was weird, but it still had this really interesting drawing because they went all out with the animation and whatnot. And sadly, I'm going to come back to this one as well because there was some really bad animation points as well. But even the story was just completely and total bullshit by the end of it. So it's literally in
Do
a
you
world
feel like
where,
without spoilers, because I know some people might actually, decide to go watch this. But without spoilers, you can give a quick synopsis of what it was, or
yeah, it was set in a world where anyone who doesn't know what a barrister is, it's like a lawyer. So basically, this was like in a world where these people who could use magic ended up breaking the law for one reason or another. If you didn't like use it in self-defense or something of that nature, even that was kind of brought into question. And basically, these different users of magic, mages, whatever the fuck you wanted to call them at that point, got pulled in for using magic because it was against the law, and this literal group of mages and lawyers had to defend them. And everything from trying to figure out what actually happened to, trying to find out if they were or weren't guilty, or sometimes even just capturing, someone. Like in the very opening of the first episode, these two people are trying to catch this one dude trying to set a train on fire. And the animation looks amazing, and the whole like chase scene they did and everything looked fucking awesome. And without spoiling too terrible much, it just ended up being really bad. Like I with I can't go into it too terrible much without spoiling, but it definitely was one of those, okay, this looks interesting, and then just halfway through it
And
completely
then
fucking
just
lost
threw
me.
itself right on out the window.
Yeah. And in terms of going ahead and throwing this out there, they blew their budget, I think, because they ended up reusing like the same. I don't want to say the same scenes, but you ever notice how like for anime with like transformation scenes, they'll reuse those, and it'll look really nice, but it's because they can. It's just stock footage, and they can just reuse it.
Yeah, I mean that's something that's meant to be spammed. Really, it's like a transformation sequence.
Yeah, you shouldn't turn normal action scenes into stock footage, and that's what happened with some stuff where you can tell their budget just got fucked because all of a sudden you hear, oh, these people are getting attacked, but all it goes back to is just this dude kind of staring and making this like really evil look, and just next thing you know, the people are flying through the fucking air, and that's for like 2 seconds. This really poor animation thing of them go like falling, and then it goes right back to the dude staring, and you hear other sounds going on, like person going, "Are you okay?" And it just you don't see that person who asked that or anything. It just looks fucking horrible. I'm like, what the fuck's going on? So another portion of that was the animation. Anyway,
I was about to say, well, I got one that can go with both bad story and bad animation.
go for it.
You ever heard of My Sister, My Writer?
I actually don't think I have.
Oh, so
I think you showed me that one once.
I actually
think we
have
watched
not,
it.
Timmy.
I don't think we watched it, but I think you mentioned it to me before.
Oh, I've mentioned it. So the big thing with My Sister, My Writer, the quality is so bad. So 1 minute it'll be
Oh yeah. I'm sorry, I didn't recognize the English name. I actually had to Google it real quick. No, I remember watching part of this years ago.
So I'm gonna start with the animation first, and I'll get to the story. So I watched this with my buddy Erratic. He made me sit through a watch an episode, and I wanted to rip my eyes out. And it was the perfect example of bad animation. It literally go from like good, crisp, clean looking stuff to did a fucking 3-year-old draw all this shit? Like it literally turned so bad with doodle faces and like so it just went downhill. And then not even to talk about the story. The story is literally about this middle schooler who's fucking head over heels for her older brother, and it's a whole like writing thing. So the sister is the illustrator for her older brother, and like it's just really weird, and it's so stupid. It really comes down to she didn't want to come out. Hold on. No, I got another thing. That's a different one for a different time. So the actual plot for this one is the little sister. She's actually a well-known author, but no one knows her face. And well, she's like, "Brother, will you cover for me?" So basically, he starts taking the pen name and like is the public figure. Meanwhile, she's trying to get into this man's pants.
Mm-hmm.
And
okay, it's just
the story,
standard, incest kind of.
yeah, generic incest.
About it, but
generic incest, and it gets to the point where she's literally almost trying to force herself on him. And then they do some Romeo and Juliet-esque type of play, and she misstrues it as him confessing his love to her. Like, it's just so bad. Like,
yeah.
It's...
No, I had to pull up the pictures of it, and I remember this now.
Yeah.
No, this was... when you said My Sister, My Writer, I'm like, that doesn't sound familiar. But no, that's like basically the super shortened version of it. Like the actual name's like super fucking long, but it literally translates to the one whom I love is my little sister, but she's not a little sister. What the fuck?
Yeah, it fucking...
yeah.
I also, there's another one with a bad plot. You ever, Ulysses, Joan d'Arc, and the Alchemist Knight?
Oh, hold up now.
Yeah, no, I think I've seen this one.
I think I might have shown you this. So basically, let me read the synopsis for you. It gives you a good grasp of kind of a okay story. The story is set in 15th century during the 100 Years' War between France and England over the succession of the French throne. I can't pronounce his name. Montmorency, think that's how you say it.
Montmorency.
This is guy that basically turns into Gillies from if you play Fate. That's him.
Gilderoy.
Gilderoy. It's Gilderoy.
It's French. All the names you're working with are French. First off, so yeah.
Yeah, it's Gilderoy. Like historically, it's him. So that person is the son of a noble, immerses himself in the studies of magic and alchemy at a royal knight training school. However, following France's crushing defeat at Agincourt, the school is dissolved. Having lost everything and now a wanted man, Gilderoy, who had just become an alchemist, encounters a mysterious village girl named Joan. Basically, he helps make Joan d'Arc into the saint by using alchemy and like all this weird shit that includes the Philosopher's Stone, and he does it when she's about to die, and when she activates the stone, she has like a different persona, and then she becomes this badass, but she becomes overheated, so she needs this elixir. Well, a mishap happened when he made the stone, and his saliva's the elixir. So what do? They French every single time she needs it, and she begs for it.
They French.
And she's like 10.
I'm sorry.
Boy.
No,
You know,
But
it became a lot less funny when he's like, and she's 10.
Yeah, she's like 10.
This says 12. Like I'm looking at the things. Another thing I'm reading saying.
What, is she 12?
Apparently. Regardless,
It's the
she's very
same
young
thing.
age.
I was like, I don't think that helps too much.
It really doesn't.
But yeah, it comes down to that.
It helps
And
knock a couple years off the sentence. What?
a couple of years off the sentence. Yeah,
And
okay.
you're probably not wrong about that.
I will say though, the fight scenes are actually pretty decent. And the animation's good, but the story is just horrible. And it comes down to like, oh, this childhood friend is trying to kill. This is spoiler territory, by the way. If you don't want to,
After saying to me not to spoil stuff, no, you're good.
well, okay, well, anyway, it's like
Hey,
the
man.
childhood friend gets another
You know
Philosopher's
what?
Stone. And she gets
He's
these
the
big
leader
old.
of this. If he wants to spoil something, he can.
I know.
Yeah, true. She gets these tit old bitties and like starts like doing these flipping moves and like all this. All of a sudden, oh, I'm in love with him, but I can't let him have Joan, so I gotta kill her, and that gets thrown in a mix, and and it's like, oh, there's this political side out of nowhere. Like it doesn't know what it wants to do. It's just
There's a small blonde-haired boy in another giant suit of armor that I need to have a word with this characters of this world first.
yeah. No.
off.
Also
They need to
involves
explain-
it also involves God
I
and
know.
fairies at one point, like, and then the world's coming to an end, turns into Armageddon, and like Ulysses turns into a god and fucking just wrecks.
I was gonna say God as in like the Christianity version of God, or God as in like just the term God in general.
He called himself God, like Christianity God, but
Oh.
he was like a form of demons
Okay,
and a bunch of other
because
shit.
was
I
like,
don't know.
If Christianity's depiction of God comes down and tells Jean d'Arc what to do.
No,
Weird
that
enough
never
in my
happened
head.
according to this. This is all just a flop because she's technically a witch or some shit. I don't fucking
Yeah, I was
know,
like,
man.
weird image in my head now that there's fairies and then Christianity's version of God just chilling there.
I also a bunch of these are bad just story. You got any other bad story ones while we're on story?
You got any, Timmy? Since I've already said one.
Not really, no. I
He's
do
like,
want to
"Nah,
go
I
back
just
to
want-"
something we said earlier though, but I can wait.
In regards to what? Like I don't.
It was in regards to bad animation.
Okay. We could definitely get back to that in a second. Like I realize I threw out Wizard Barristers first, but honestly, the top of my list as far as like story or execution of said story, I completely filled Kyle in on this one earlier, but Timmy, have you heard of a series called Roku no Yusha? And somewhere Moroku just got triggered. Anyway,
Roku
Roku no Yusha,
Oh,
the
Roku.
Braves of the Six Flowers.
You know, this sounds familiar.
Okay. There's literally no way that I can spoil this for you.
Okay.
Because by the end of the anime, it's not over. That's another issue I realize we'll get into a second here. Oh, honestly, a lot of series that just have the whole read the manga or read the light novel endings end up just kind of taking away so much of the enjoyment from it. So this was one of those. Like, it was originally a light novel, and by the end of the show, that's what ended up happening.
Now, was this around the time where we were getting like a ton of light novel anime and then only Sword Art survived?
Let me find out what year it was real quick.
I think it says summer 2015 here from what I'm looking at.
You might be correct on that. I'm just trying to find it for my own thing.
Gotcha.
Like, yeah, the light novels came out in 2011. I'm just gonna agree with you, say, on the 2015 there, because I just don't want to take.
Oh, you know, I see it right here. Pony Canyon Canyon USA localized the series.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, and if anyone wants to check this out, I will honestly not fault anyone for watching like the first 1 or 2 episodes. Honestly, it definitely it definitely was like a very great first episode. The synopsis of the story was these 6 heroes were going to be chosen by the goddess of the world that they were in to help fight the demon lord. And sounds kind of generic, but the way that it sets up the hype for it, and the way that it starts off with the main quote-unquote main character, ends up being just really awesome, really wonderful animation. And even if you do nothing else but go watch like the first couple minutes to see the like first fight that they do of just this dude showing how fucking strong he is and how tactical he is, how prepared he is for fighting, it's just really, really cool. And I think that alone is just really awesome to watch, if nothing else. But by the first couple episodes where it sets up the plot, they're trying to go meet up with the other Braves. It turns into a locked room murder mystery for the rest of the fucking show. Because it says there's only supposed to be 6 Braves, 6 heroes gathered together, and they get there and there's 7 of them, and they go, oh shit, one of us is obviously a traitor who betrayed, who did this bullshit that fucked us over, and so they're trying to figure that out before they continue on to go fight the Demon King. And even by the end, I will go so far as to not tell who the traitor is and not spoil that for anyone who does want to watch this. But by the end of it, all that they've done is fucking pointless, because they find out who the traitor is, who the fake brave is, and then another person shows up claiming to be a brave, claiming to be a hero as well. So there's now 7 of them again.
So a nice waste of time. Got it.
A absolute fucking waste of time. Giant middle finger to everyone who's had to put up with this, going from this really cool, interesting action series that could be executed a certain way. Oh shit, we've just spent the last, 5 episodes pointing fingers at each other going, but you could have done this because of such and such, but you could have done this because of that, da-da-da-da-da. And that's what, I'm getting heated over this. It was very aggravating. But, so by the end of it, it's not only hey, there's this 7th brave, but if you really want to know who the traitor is and what the hell's going on here, go read the light novel. And we haven't gotten anything else pertaining to it at all. So, yeah. Not only did they do this,
while you're explaining that,
yeah,
I looked up a fight scene just for funsies.
Yeah.
And this dude just popped off.
No, absolutely. Like that opening fight and the animation that they do, even throughout the rest of the series. And
I didn't even know this is the opening fight. Mr. Adlet here just walks up like, "Yo, I'm the strongest. I'm here to prove it."
No, that's the first episode. That is absolutely the first episode.
Gotcha.
And even the fights that they do later on are just very beautifully animated for a lot of stuff. For a lot of the stuff that goes on, it's just so fucking cool to me. And that's probably one of the only things that really kept me watching it, because I'm like, oh my god, this is such a fucking stupid plot. What? did M. Night Shyamalan jerk off to this every week as the episodes came out type thing? So, yeah. And these are honestly a lot of the same strong opinions that me and probably 3 or 4 other people share pertaining to this series. If they did it differently instead of turning the entirety of this into this murder mystery thing and yeah, like if they ended up giving a second season that explained stuff a bit better and actually went on with it, I might not be hating on it as much. But right now, fucking July 6, 2019 at 9:05 p.m. at night, there is nothing pertaining to a second season on the way. And I honestly, at this point, I do not fucking care to read the light novels. So anyone who tries to say that can fuck themselves. Anyway, that's the end of that rant. Honestly, that is probably the top of my list in terms of just this ended up being so fucking bad by the end of it.
Yeah. After watching a second fight scene, I can see where you'd feel pretty blue balls over this.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
This seems like a lot of wasted potential.
Absolutely. I could go into other anime as far as like the concept of as far as great idea, poor execution. One of my favorite shows ever, Guilty Crown. Amazing concept as far as like how the powers and abilities could have worked, but by the end of it, it's just like this fucking dumb ending. What the fuck? Fucking Kakumeki Valvrave, in English, Valvrave the Liberator. Fucking amazing animation. It's a fucking mech series. I'm a big Gundam fan. Fucking Nana Mizuki and TM Revolution doing a goddamn opening duet for the opening song that's fucking baller as shit. It's so much potential. By the end of it, fuck. Just, I couldn't follow
everything you wanted, and then it just slowly but surely went down.
Yeah, like, I know there's supposed to be parts where... I know there's supposed to be low points in a show because the hero has to bring it back up, or they have to get through a time of crisis or some shit. But there's certain parts of it that just ended up being just so bad that I couldn't follow what was going on. One moment, this one bitch is locked in a fucking cell and they're trying to break her out. The next time you see her, which is mere minutes later, you didn't even see them break her out. She's already in her mech. Looks like she's gone from beaten to a pulp to, oh, I'm perfectly fine, like I just got out of a shower type thing. Like, I look like I'm perfectly fine. And it is fighting in a mech mere minutes later. Like, where's the in-between? What the fuck did I miss? I scanned over that episode multiple times. Like, they deleted something out of the fucking show. I don't know. Anyway, I'm trying not to like, what's the term? As far as just trying to, like...
That's what this conversation's about.
Yeah, I realize it's also me letting off steam for particular stuff, but I'm also not trying to hijack most of the conversation. So by all means, like, whatever else people want to... You said something about animation stuff, unless...
I have a lot of bad story stuff. Like, I just looked at it.
Go for it.
Okay,
yeah, I was like, I don't want to switch topics quite yet until everyone has said
school days. Anyway, go ahead.
Let me start with this one. You ever heard of Amazing Stranger?
What's the Japanese?
Kodako. Hold on.
I'm looking it up.
Cho Kado Girl 16. CHOUK.
Kado Girl.
Yeah, 16.
I have not seen this.
It came out last season, the one that literally just finished. It's about this hardcore otaku named Haruto, who has legit no interest in 3D women.
Oh, she's like CG or something?
Yeah, let me just say this now. The animation's actually pretty good. They do the CG pretty well, especially compared to the Bang Dream CG. It's that was fucking outstanding.
Bruh. Any CG is better than Berserk.
You got that right.
The Berserk remake. I'm just saying. Honestly, best CG I've ever seen, Land of the Lustrous. Look it up. Anyone who wants to see some damn good, beautiful CG. Sorry, go
on. It's about this man Haruto. He has no interest in real women. And once appreciated figurines from afar, accepting that if you get into them, there is no turning back. Might I say, that is fact, because once you start, there ain't no going back.
It's like with Gundam models, I understand.
Yeah, facts. But however, his favorite character, Nona, from Girls Planetary Investigation, he bought her figure. And as a congratulatory thing, he moved out, he got his own thing, he got this new job. He bought this figure, and at night, all of a sudden, it came to life. And they end up dating.
Okay.
And it turns into a harem by the end.
I was like, I will hold my peace for now.
How many drugs was this guy? No, this is reminding me of another series. I'm trying to think of a series.
So
carry on.
It's hard to talk about without spoiling because this is brand new. I don't want to spoil too much. But they're made out of some special rock or something, and there's actually magic apparently involved. Like, it's really weird. But how it comes into play, he pretends to be one of the people from the show and convinces her. Then she finds out that, she's actually a plastic model. And he finds a marriage certificate, or she finds a marriage certificate he filled out jokingly. And all of a sudden, they're husband and wife. That's all within the first, 2 episodes.
Moved kind of fast.
And
right.
it's later on, he goes into the anime. Because she goes away. It's really... Story's really bad.
Sorry, repeat that last one?
He goes into the anime.
Huh?
Yeah, so he's in an anime inside of an anime.
Let's see.
I feel like the story changed quite drastically.
Well, that's towards the end. It's towards the end. There's lead up to it. I'm trying not to spoil big things.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just doing that fairly for people, because since it's newer, if it was an older one, I wouldn't care. But this is still practically brand new. So.
Yeah, I understand. I'm just saying that still moved pretty quickly.
Oh, bro, it moved fast for 12 episodes. It moved real fast. Yeah, if you want to see, story that does not make sense, and otakus, yelling at each other, and, parents being disappointed, this is the place to go. Then I also have another one, which might be a little controversial, but many people would agree. Darling in the Franxx.
That is definitely another one that falls under the interesting concept.
Did great until...
I'm not even going to say poor execution. I'm going to say what the fuck execution. Because it seemed like an interesting idea at first, but the way that they decided to handle turning it into... not because it was presented as a mech show, first off.
Mm-hmm.
And they still had the mech stuff, but they definitely turned it more into... which this is perfectly fine, don't get me wrong. They definitely turned it more towards the... character development, character interactions, kids learning about the world, and more of a coming of age type thing, which is perfectly fine to put any kind of story for that in a series. But then when it goes so far off the rails like it did, to the point of, once again, I just didn't understand a lot of the stuff that was going on. I'm just like...
Look, plot twist. Yeah, everyone we work for is evil. Plot twist. We're going to space now. Plot twist. Yeah, you're never coming back.
Okay. For anyone who isn't familiar with this show or the production company involved, it was made by Studio Trigger, which is an offshoot of, or I say offshoot, but is made from people from Studio Gainax, who made Gurren Lagann, Fooly Cooly, stuff like that. So, actually, I could be incorrect on that. I'm gonna double check I'm gonna fact check myself before I.
Yeah, please do. That's a powerful studio.
I know for a fact they did Gurren Lagann. I could be incorrect on Fooly Cooly. No, Gainax was involved with it. I'm sorry, so I was half right. It says created by Gainax as well, but it's trying to say they were involved in something else. So production may have... they also took in Production IG and Starchild Records as another company. I'm actually not familiar with that last one. Production IG did some other good ones. But Gynax was one of the people who helped with that, and a bunch of other series as well. I think they did. I think Trigger did Flip Flappers, if I'm not mistaken. So they've always been known for these kind of crazy, over the top plots and animation styles, fights, and all sorts of stuff. If anybody watches Gurren Lagann, by the end of it, they're throwing fucking galaxies at each other. That's really over the top, but it's that build up, and it's fucking awesome to me. Anyway,
Didn't yeah, Studio Trigger did Kill la Kill too.
Yep.
yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, hell, that was like one of the if I
so
recall,
they did Kill la Kill and Kisniver.
yeah, oh yeah, they did Kisniver. Yeah, like Kill la Kill was one of their first, like, I think, major undertakings of as far as like stuff, and you saw how crazy that shit was. But even then, like,
you need to understand Kill la Kill to have fun watching that.
yeah, but even like the plot twists, and I say plot twists, but even the stuff that gets revealed later on in there was understandable, kind of, at least for me. I don't know if other people may have had an issue with it, but it wasn't like as insane to me as Darling in the Franxx, which was still amusing to watch on different aspects of it. But like you said, all of a sudden, oh, by the way, we're fucking going to space. Oh, look, here's 02 as a goddamn spaceship, and I'm having Infinite Revius like throwbacks here for a second. I'm like, what the fuck? So,
But I will say, I really enjoy the art style. I liked it.
absolutely.
The character building was good for what they did. It's just it went off the rails, like he was saying. It just went off the rails, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like the ending, it looks like they were like, "Fuck, we got to do something." Here.
Yeah.
This is what we want right here.
Yep. But
yeah, it got a lot of hype, and it was something so anticipated because of the studio and everything, and then it just yeah.
So that's it for the controversial one that I have. I got more bad
Lord knows
story
you're
ones.
trying it.
So let me go to. I'm going to spit out two real quick, and that's going to be it for what I got.
Go for it.
This one real quick. Nobunaga Sensei, no Asunozuma. Basically, Mr. Nobunaga's young bride. This guy, he's a middle school teacher. Oh God, he's a middle school teacher. Oh, that just made it
I like
worse.
how you're reading this. It's like you're reading the summary for the first time.
I thought he was high school.
Oh, Kyle, I knew something wasn't right when you showed me that.
Oh,
Oh, it makes
my
it so much
God.
better.
We thought this whole time he was high school. Nowhere
I
did
knew
it say
he
what.
wasn't. I told you. I was like, are you sure this is high school?
All right, look. Nowhere in the anime says what teacher he is. It's assumed he's in high school.
You told me he was high school. I was like, these don't look like high schoolers. Even for anime
Bruh.
standards, they don't look like high
All
schoolers.
right. Anyway, apparently he's a middle school teacher. He's single. He's part of the Nobunaga line. He's part of the line of the heritage, and he's the male that's supposed to take it on and all this other stuff. So one day he goes over his parents' house, them being disappointing at him. They said, "You got to get a bride." Blah 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 blah. By the way, go clean out the storage unit or go clean out the shed for me. All right, whatever. Him and his sister go in there. He knocks over this teacup. All of a sudden, this girl falls from the sky. It's his bride-to-be, a.k.a. the old Oda Nobunaga. Like the OG one. She's about 14.
I'm sorry, the OG was a male, but go ahead.
That's what I'm talking about. Like, this teacher is a male.
I mean, to be fair, the OG King Arthur was a male, so.
I have no clue what you're talking
No,
about.
Odanaba is the teacher.
Moon has to have a word with you, Timmy. Anyway,
Yeah, just ignore the red dot on you.
Phone.
I'm sorry. Sorry, please carry on.
Odonaga is the teacher. I'm saying a bride of Odonaga.
Oda Nobunaga.
Can't fucking speak. This guy.
Japanese historians need to have a word with you.
Man, we're both getting taken out apparently.
Apparently, I'm wondering. I'm just scared of who the fuck's gonna come after me. That's just the YouTube comment section. That's whatever.
Obunaga.
That's the real threat.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. That's the real threat going on here. But so she was supposed to go and meet the OG Oda first, but she apparently went forward in time because the ancestors sent her something. But anyway, I'm trying not to spoil this too, but if he touches someone, a soul of someone he had sex with or something very intimate goes into that person. So it involves a trap. It involves another fellow teacher where he has to suck her breasts. There's like 2 lollies trying to fuck him and have babies. Let's see here. One of his students, who's already in love with him, goes over the top and wants him in yaoi fan fiction. It doesn't know what it wants, and it turns into a straight porno after one point. To which me, Timmy, and our buddy Erratic were in my living room screaming in horror after we were seeing a man about to rape a man.
Oh man, that was such a good day.
So like.
The weenie breaking the tofu wall was the greatest analogy I could have imagined happening.
That's exactly how they described it. Boy, that's it for that one. Moving on, we got One Room. Have you guys watched One Room?
Oh, yeah, I've seen that.
I think this is another one of those you showed me and talked about it.
One Room is basically you're following these stories and it's you going through this. So you are having a thing with your neighbor. You are having a thing with your sister. You are having a thing with your childhood friend.
And you get a car. And
you get a car.
A lawsuit. And you get a restraining order.
And it's like these cute girls that, start off innocent, minus the sister. She knew what she was doing from the begin with. So they all start innocent, like, go meet one in the park somewhere. Your sister comes by, for her summer vacation or something like that. And your childhood best friend, you reconnect after a while, stuff like that. And it's like 4-minute clips of you having this journey. It's really stupid. I'm sorry. If this... I would apologize if I'm about to attack someone. I really do. And I'm really sorry if I'm about to attack someone. But if you get a sense of enjoyment out of this, I'm sorry.
Of going through the stuff yourself?
Yeah. Like,
You don't enjoy the life of an anime boy?
Not like this. So...
This company tried to give you everything you wanted, and then you finally get a taste of it and you don't want it, alright?
Yeah, it was that bad. It was that bad batch, alright? Like, but it was good enough to... Go ahead. I was about to say...
It's like a production company took a survey, and a whole bunch of people just trolled the survey, but the company took it seriously.
Yep, pretty much.
Like, oh, sure. Why not? Let's do this. And then the people who were like, no, we serious. What the fuck?
And then they trolled them again and made a second season.
Yep.
Continuing for some of the characters.
Oh no, they made a second season.
Yep.
Man, they must have thought they were doing the Lord's work.
That's a good way of putting it. That's a really good way of putting it, my dude.
They're like, man, people really liked being a part of the anime. Let's keep up.
So yeah, that's all. I have another one, but I don't feel like mentioning it, to be honest. I'll just give it an honorable mention. 11 Eyes. If y'all know what it is, I'm sorry you watched it too.
That is old.
Yeah.
I actually know that one.
Yeah. Bruh, that is like... I say old, but that has been around for...
Well, that's 2009. That's 10 years old.
Yeah, dude, absolutely. God bless.
So, that honorable mention to...
Yeah.
That fucking I'm exhausted from talking about Otonaba. All right. But yeah, that's it for me. You want to mention a little bit more, Billy, and then we can call it a day because it's been about 40 minutes.
Oh, bro, I still have like I have a couple others. I guess we could just kind of cover a little bit quick, but it's also I still want to bring in y'all for this as well. I'm just gonna have an example. Well, when you said, okay, we're going to do this talking about bad anime, and I went through, like, just listing stuff, I got to thinking about other particular series, and I'm like, well, what would this be bad? What would this series be considered a bad whatever? A bad plot, bad anime, bad animation, whatever. One series I actually came across, and I remember watching it, because I watched it because I played the game for it. So... This is what I consider a bad adaptation bad game adaptation. It's a series called Sands of Destruction. I'm trying to remember the Japanese name for it, and I honestly can't recall it right now.
Mm-hmm.
But this is also what the game was, and I had played the game all the way through. Beat it like 100% completely. It was for the DS. Really good, really fun, and interesting battle system and everything. It was really, really cool and interesting story as well. So when I heard that this was getting an anime or had an anime, I think it had already come out by the time I heard about it. I was like, oh, cool! I definitely want to see this. And it kind of starts following it, and by the end, it just goes a completely different direction than what there's people just like going. Just like, oh, there's another bad adaptation called Fate Stay Night. No, what? We're not gonna go there. Dean Stay Night. Yeah.
Dean Stay Night.
But no,
Dean.
like, yeah, like without spoiling it, they definitely stray completely from it, and it just ends up just being really bad to me. Like as far as like, an adaptation, it was that Sands of Destruction was not that good. And like I said, I think there was another version of the title called World Destruction. I can't remember. Bakumetsu no Sekai, I think. I can't remember honestly. Have y'all ever watched an adaptation of it and ended up going, oh no, this fucking sucks compared to what the video game was?
Yep.
Like what?
I'm trying to think.
Honestly, Disgaea.
I agree with you on that one because I remember playing.
Yeah,
like,
that's the one I was
original...
thinking of. First one that came to mind as well as this guy.
I didn't even think of that about that till just now. Like, absolutely. By
Also,
comparison, I'm like, what the fuck?
Disclaimer: I know it's in my collection, but I got those for like $2 a piece, and that's why it's in my collection. Just for those who actually watch my videos faithfully. Thank you, by the way.
Disgaea?
Yeah.
Did you Hour of Darkness?
Yeah. Well, the Disgaea anime adaptation.
Oh yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. That's fair. Hell, the like Mega Man Star Force and stuff like that ended up being really crazy adaptations after me. Because I played through all the Mega Man Battle Network and Star Force games.
I will say, Mega Man is another one where I was like, some of the shows are pretty good, but then some of them just missed to me.
Yeah. Like, I understand also where if they also open it with, like, taking an immediate different direction at the very beginning, I don't mind it as much. But when it's like, oh, we're following it so close to what the original material was, and then straying off from it, it's like, well, okay, thanks. As far as, like, another... honestly, there was one series, I was looking through my stuff, I remembered one series that I couldn't get past the first episode. There's been a couple series like that. Honestly, Shima was one of those that I had a tough time getting past the first episode, but it was fucking hilarious when I forced myself to watch through the rest of it. I was like, no, I gotta watch it, I gotta try, and it ended up being very, very funny. Love Nectar Cookies, for anyone who's ever seen it. I'm just going to throw that out there. Anyway.
Boy, that name.
Yeah, I know, right? There was a series called Occultic 9, in which it was in the same line of anime, not like same world, to my knowledge, where people refer to as the semicolon animes. Chaos Head, Robotics Notes, Steins Gate, stuff like that, where it was made by these particular companies who... There was like one word, a semicolon, and then another word. This is what that was occultic, and then the semicolon, and then 9. I couldn't get past the first episode because they were trying to cram so much into their time allotment that it almost sounded like the character dialogue was like they ramped up the speed on it, like they were trying to fucking nightcore it, but without the higher pitched tone. Like, they were just, like, it's as if you got fucking auctioneers to read off scripts. And it got to the point where I can usually follow an anime subtitles very well. Even with, like, animation and all this other crazy stuff going on, I just am used to doing that for years at this point. I couldn't keep up with the subtitles because it was going by, the sentences of the subtitles and the translations were going by so fucking fast that... Like, I couldn't finish a sentence before they were already on the next thing because of how fast and how much was going on. when it got to the parts that mattered.
Mm-hmm.
They were just going so fucking fast because they were trying to cram. It felt like they were trying to cram so much into it that it ruined it for me. Like, if the series is actually good, I may end up trying to pick it back up again. But when it's first coming out, I watch this. I'm like, fuck it, no, I'm done. I can't do it. Also, bitch over here has tits that should not exist because they are absolutely ginormous. And she is going to have back problems for the rest of her life. I'm just throwing that out there.
Oh,
it's whatever.
I got stuff for you, but we're going to have to talk about that on the podcast.
Hold on now.
Timmy, you showed me the intro to this anime, and it made me question life. But we're going to have to end it here. Sadly, something has come up for me real quick. I hope you guys enjoyed this little talk that we had about bad anime.
Talk, more Billy rants. Anyway.
Yeah, it's still information for you guys. That's how I look at it. So... remember, follow me on Twitter, follow me on Instagram. You'll see little tidbits of me and my friends, what's upcoming videos, me streaming, such of that. So, hit that bell button. You guys have any final remarks?
No, thank you for having me on, man. I'm definitely always up for this, even if I'm ranting too much. I apologize.
Nah, you're fine. So, this is where I'm leaving you all. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you all later.